Hello and welcome to Chicken Bros. My name is David Heath.
And I'm not really dead, I'm acting.
Okay, good. That was good. Uh, and we're here to talk about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, aka Marvel's retcon for the Mandarin.
There was controversy surrounding this movie because it's predominantly Asian actors,
Yeah,
which is bullshit because that movie was pretty good. I liked it.
yeah, really good one from Marvel, especially with a character I've never even heard of. So,
Yeah, Shang-Chi isn't exactly one of the heavy hitters in Marvel.
I mean, now he
He's
is,
been in barely anything since his inception.
which is interesting considering how much Kevin Feige really wanted to make this movie, according to him.
You know, I know this will never happen, but I feel like the movie would have been better if they, instead of the guy they got, if they were able to get Bruce Lee in his prime. I think he would have fucking made that movie.
Perhaps,
Because, his martial arts is like next level shit.
right.
Or at least maybe have Jackie Chan play the dad. That would have been cool too.
Oh, I don't know. I think Jackie Chan's getting a little too old for that. Maybe back when he made that horrible Karate Kid movie, but the reboot. But but
Anywho's
and
all.
also
This is
if you guys really want to know our thoughts on that movie, 0 out of 10. There,
bad.
it's off our shoulders.
Yeah.
But Shang-Chi was pretty good. Admittedly I don't know anything about the comic book character, so I don't know
Me
how
either.
close this was to his comic origin. But knowing Marvel Studios, they took liberties.
But honestly, for me, I had a really hard time seeing this as a Marvel movie.
I
Does
see,
that make
I know what you mean because it has a very different feel to it.
Yeah. Now, as a martial arts movie, because I love martial arts movies myself, it was pretty fucking good. Like the
I
choreography,
think it was due to the culture they were touching on.
the fight choreography was freaking amazing.
This feels like this should have been the live action Mulan.
Oh,
Actually,
well,
saying that, the actor who plays Shang-Chi, I can't pronounce. I don't want to bastardize his name, but I feel like he could have played a live action Shang if
oh
his
yeah.
hair was a little bit longer.
Also, with the way the martial arts was choreographed and how they did it with because they didn't just have like punches and kicks, they had like air. Like they actually had like bending
Airbending.
elements. I'm thinking like they can do a live action Avatar: The Last Airbender now.
No, they
They can.
can, but they shouldn't have gotten M. Night behind it.
They have the technology.
But
They just get the guys behind this movie to do it, and we're good.
But this movie is really good because like it's a different kind of Marvel origin, I think, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Which is that this guy who calls himself Sean has been running away from his past and trying to live a normal life in San Francisco. Which that makes me wonder, did he ever come across Ant-Man just like randomly?
Maybe he lives in a place that's secured with Ant-Man's security system. I don't know.
And it also makes you wonder, I don't know exactly when. Oh, well, okay. Well, they do say that this takes place after Endgame, so it makes me wonder then what their reaction was during the whole Ant-Man and the Wasp thing, because that took place in the same state.
Stoink.
But that eventually his past catches up with him as people who
In the
work
form
for
of his father.
yes, people who work for his father come looking for him and his sister, whose name escapes me. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah. They all have Chinese names
Yeah,
that I can't pronounce because I'm white.
yeah, ditto. I'm also white.
Even when I can remember to pronounce Shang-Chi.
Um,
And honestly, okay, one tiny nitpick, and this is not the actress's fault. This is just I couldn't buy that because his friend is also Asian American, but she does not sound a damn thing. She sounds white.
right. That's just the accent.
She talks like a white person. And
It's probably because she spent a lot of time here.
well, yeah,
Because
but
that's how she actually talks in real life.
sure, but she lives in like her grandma, I think it was, still like speaks Mandarin Chinese.
That's all right.
And her mom still has a heavily accented speaks in heavily accented English.
Hmm?
Even Shung's accent is a little in there. He's got a bit of an accent. Not much of one, but he's got one.
Right. And some people deviate from it, you know?
Sure. And also, the Ten Rings, like they're not.
Right, yeah, because weren't they
Yeah,
actually rings in
this
the
is
comic book?
super fucking minor. But in the comic books, they are 10 actual like finger rings,
Right.
and they each have a different power.
Right. In this movie, they're rings that are
Basically armbands, and they
armbands, and they
kind of function as a unit, really. I
yeah
mean, you can like do shit with them, but
yeah. It's kind of interesting how they use this. By the way, I want to specify a joke I made a minute ago when I said that this movie was the MCU's retcon for the Mandarin. For those of you who remember Iron Man 3, that weird, yeah, that weird unnecessary twist where the Mandarin was an actor. It's retconned in this movie because the actual Mandarin says this American came and used me as a way of portraying. He said something like where basically he was his inspiration for this horrible, like, staged terrorist.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he has that, and he still has Trevor Slattery as a prisoner.
They named him after an orange chicken. Or something like that. Or I don't know. But like but the actual Mandarin, again, I can't
who is Shang's father.
Yes, Shang's father. Whose name
Who
also
trained him he trained him as an assassin for like 14 years.
Yeah. Well, okay, so backstory. This dude who is the Mandarin has been living for like hundreds of thousands of years.
Because the rings can do that shit.
Yeah. And then he came across this woman who ends up being Shang's mother. And then they have Shang and his sister. And then so the Shang's father has this past. And then it catches up with him and they end up killing his mother. Mm-hmm. And when Shang's father hears about that,
because because he originally set to conquer Shang's mom's homeland, but then she kicked his ass.
Yeah.
So then they start kind of having a relationship. So then when they get married and have the 2 kids, the Mandarin's like, you know what? I don't need this anymore. I can settle down. I can live a normal life.
Right. And she was also part of this like secret like world, like part of the world that was like they were like, if you go with him, you can't come back.
Yeah.
And then she went with him.
Yep.
And so when she died, he reopened the 10 rings and went ham on those guys that killed her and trained Shang as an assassin to, I guess, because didn't he set him out to kill someone specific and then Shang didn't?
Yeah.
Or no, Shang did.
Yeah, but we don't know that until later.
Right. But they mislead us into thinking that he didn't take the mission, but the thing is he did.
Yeah, and that's kind of been beating him up all this time.
Yeah.
Also, something I found kind of interesting. Yes, Shang's dad is technically evil, but he still, for the most part, was an okay dad to Shang.
Yeah, to Shang, yes.
Yeah, his sister, not so much, which is why... when he left, he basically said to his sister, I'll be back for you.
And didn't come back.
And that's why she's pissed at him when they finally reunite.
Yeah, like, fuck you, I remember what you did to me.
She fucking kicks his ass.
Yeah. Also, interesting fight between Wong and the Abomination.
Comically accurate Abomination.
Yes, still played by Tim Roth, but you wouldn't know that because, well, he doesn't revert to human, but yeah.
I don't think Abomination can revert to human.
I don't think he can either, but like I only know that it's him because he was in the credits. But so Shang's aunt, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, I feel like this is just for laughs, but they brought back Ben Kingsley's character, Trevor Slattery, and this weird creature from where Shang's mom is from that has no head. In fact, you can't even tell where its ass is. Helps guide them through the ever-changing forest that only opens up a path every so often, and they drive through it, and they eventually make it to the entrance, and they see Shang's aunt there, and she teaches him not to use his fist, but to use his mind. It's like a yin and yang thing, which I really, really like.
Mm-hmm. Also, the Mandarin has this idea, because he thinks that his wife is calling out to him.
Right,
from beyond barrier.
This barrier that's in this world. But the thing
all he wants is to get her back.
Because he thinks that's her calling to him from beyond that world. But the thing is that the people in that world have put up that barrier to keep behind this creature that plays with your head that makes you only hear what you want to hear. That's why he's hearing her.
Yeah.
And if he opens that barrier, we're screwed.
Oh yeah.
So that's why there's a fight. And of course, I felt like this big weight of like family pressure when Shang started fighting his dad, like in battles. Like, oh shit.
Yep.
And then during the fight, the rings start going to Shang, which I thought was really cool.
One thing I also liked is that, like, when the creature finally escapes, as you know, we all knew it was gonna.
Yeah.
It starts taking the Mandarin's essence, and while it's doing that, he realizes his mistake, looks at his son, and basically gives him power of the power of the rings.
Right, and
then dies.
There was an earlier flashback where Mandarin told Shang, like, I need to know that you're ready before you can use these, and then he passed on the rings to him, signaling, yeah, you're ready.
Because my mistake, son.
And then there's this water dragon that comes out to fight the creature. That's really cool.
Yeah, and his sister's like riding it like it's nothing.
Yeah. I bet you that's like in the comics where it's like her pet or something.
I don't know. I don't really care enough.
That's an assumption. I don't know if that's a fact, but I bet that would be cool if it was. And of course they win. The creature gets put back into the barrier, and then they win. Because you know this is still a Marvel movie.
Yep.
And I like how they're trying to explain all this to that couple that thought they were too like childish, and they try to explain this to them like, okay, look guys, this is not funny. And then Wong shows up from behind them.
Yeah. Are you Shang-Chi? I need to talk to you real quick.
and there's an end credit scene where Shang-Chi meets Carol Danvers and Bruce Banner.
Yep.
Interesting cameos. And also, why was Bruce Banner Bruce again? I really want to know what that's about.
Maybe you can just switch back and forth.
I guess so. Yeah, I like how he was like, welcome to the circus.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be crazy. And then then Shang, his friend, and Wong go to karaoke sing in Hotel California at the end.
Yeah.
I love that. Ready a room at the Hotel California. So yeah, this movie was pretty good.
It was
better than
fine.
Better than Black Widow.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, I don't know if we're ever gonna review that, but
I'll save you the trouble. It sucked. 0 out of 10. That is the only Marvel movie where I was completely bored.
And to think, they could have done something great if they just went with the Budapest story.
Yes.
But c'est la vie. So Shang-Chi, I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
7 out of 10. 7 out of 10.
And we will see you next time.
Aww.